Youth Devotions of the Week with Becca.
Hello everybody, welcome back to our channel. It's not a youth devotions this week, but could I leave out the theme tune? Definitely not. So I hope you enjoyed listening to that. But actually today we are doing something a little bit different. I'm actually feeling quite nervous and I have no idea why. But I am just going to share a little bit about what God's been up to, because he's crazy. So I'm going to start really far at the beginning. Well, actually I'm not. I'm just going to tell you the punchline. Baby Cronin's making an appearance at the beginning of next year. But going back to the beginning, those of you who are in my youth group and haven't just stumbled across this, because I know some of you have never met me before. Hi, by the way. But you'll remember that almost a year ago, so August, I think it was the 27th, 2019, I had surgery, and there were so many rumours going around church about what I had surgery on. So I was off for a few months, but I remember going back and people asking how my leg was. I did not have surgery on my leg. Some people thought it was on my neck and said how good the scar looked. There is no scar, because it wasn't on my neck either. I actually had investigative, I think that's the word, surgery on my ovaries. Lads, sorry if you're a bit uncomfortable talking about this kind of stuff, but basically I had cysts all over my ovaries that needed removing, that they thought were showing up on a scan. They weren't really sure, that's why they're investigating. Anyway, I had all this surgery. It went a little bit wrong, which is why I was off for so long, but I came back, it was good to go. I was in a lot less pain, and then at the beginning of this year, so January time, I started feeling a lot of pain again. I had some scans and they realised that the cysts had come back. And so I opted not to have any surgery for a little bit. This was all when COVID was like becoming a thing, and I just didn't really fancy having surgery at the beginning of a world pandemic. So instead they did like a different type of scan. I'm not going to bore you with the details. And that was the day after we went into lockdown. I got the results for that. So that had happened, we went into lockdown, I didn't think anything else of it. I was still on this medication that was blocking anything from working, and I was kind of okay with that. I was a little bit worried about this idea that we'd never have children, but going into lockdown, our vision was always that we wouldn't have children for another few years anyway. So then we go forward a little bit. We were in the month of May. It was the weekend of May the 10th, and I was so unwell, like seriously unwell. I was running a really high temperature, so high that I was getting just delirious. I didn't know who the dog was, like it was a bit mad. My throat was fine, but because I had a temperature, they wanted me to be tested for COVID. Back then, before you were tested for COVID, one of the things they asked you was, is there any chance you could be pregnant? Now, obviously, my immediate answer is no, because nothing works. If you know my husband, you know how sensible and grounded and realistic he is, and just said, look, go and do a test. You can at least say it with authority, otherwise you're going to go there and they're going to make you do it anyway. And he's probably right, because he's annoyingly always right. So I went and did a test, and to cut a long story short, that test and the 11 tests I took afterwards were all positive. I just didn't believe it. I'd literally been told at the beginning of lockdown that I scientifically couldn't have children. But throughout the whole thing, they kept reminding us that actually, even though this has been something that shouldn't have happened and did, my insides are not built to carry a baby, so the chances are this wasn't going to go very well for us, and just to be a bit more realistic. So anyway, the 12-week appointment comes up. If you don't know, at 12 weeks you have your first scan. It's really exciting for so many people. For me, it was not exciting in the slightest. I was really nervous. So anyway, I'm lying there, and she says, look at the screen, and I couldn't. because I was convinced what they were about to show me was bad. But eventually I looked and there was a baby with a heartbeat. And the woman doing the scan, she'd said to me that she'd been warned that based on the images that they did in the surgery of my reproductive system and all the test results I'd just got back, she was going to have to tell me that the baby had died. And now we sit here on the, I was going to say 21st, but I think that's the temperature. The 18th of August, we are almost 20 weeks, and it looks like we're going to have a baby. And this was not part of our plan. I know so many of you that just didn't know what to say when we told you, because we were always very open about the fact that we weren't ready for kids yet. We didn't really want children yet. We feel like we have all of you children to look after. So we were shocked, and trust me, we were more shocked than you were, but we're just so grateful of like the absolute miracles and just the reminder that God doesn't work within science. But getting that news that we were really unlikely to ever have children felt very final, because science has proven it, my body has proven it, the tests they ran had proven it. And it could have been, I know so many people who have tried for years and years and years to have children and haven't been able to. I know that for some people that's the end of that part of their journey. But for us, like, that wasn't final. God had the last say, and the last say was literally defying all odds. But that also doesn't mean that it's been plain sailing. We've almost lost the baby twice. I've been really unwell, which is why it was so flaky on this channel, and I don't know what the outcome's going to be. We still know that we're not very likely to go to full term. That's still scientifically a possibility for us, and I don't know what the outcome is of this. But what I do know is that we serve a God who is so beyond our understanding. I'm learning and trying to hold on to the fact that his plans are better than our own, because like I said, this wasn't necessarily part of our plan. But we're so grateful, and whatever the outcome is, we want to be people who are better at trusting God. And I think being put in this position, we have to be, because it's the only thing we can hold on to. So I'm going to end it there for now. I need to eat because this mama is hungry all the time. I apologise for the lighting. The sun doesn't know what it's doing. But thank you so much for watching and just taking the time to hear us. If you're a prayer warrior, keep us in your prayers. We're still obviously very high risk, and like I said, we've had a few complications along the way. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye! Right, now to get off the sofa.